Hi, this is a review of the SONY SBH80 Bluetooth headset. So I've had these for about a month now, and I just want to do a quick review and talk about the good things and the bad things. Comes nicely boxed. Sony stuff's always pretty good. One thing I will note, it comes with the normal sort of various size earplugs, and it's a little USB charger. I believe this is the smallest USB charging cord I've ever seen in the world. Sorry, it doesn't actually come with a charger, just with the cord. Just watch them when you get them out of the box, because they're quite packed in tightly. It would be very easy to damage them. Go. So yeah, so when you're getting them out, it would actually be quite easy to damage the cord. So just be a bit careful as you're pulling them out. So you can see they're a slightly different style in that they've got this thing here goes behind the neck. So the way they go on is with that behind the neck and the plugs in. Initially I was a bit dubious about it, because you'd think that this thing would flap around, but it actually doesn't. It actually seems to sit pretty quietly and not move around too much. I've used it for gym sessions, cycling, and I've done a couple of 10-kilometre runs with them on. Now, running, they're actually fine. They sort of slip around a little bit occasionally, but it's not really a problem. Cycling, they're great. They just sit there. In the gym, they're pretty good. Probably the only problem I've had in the gym is if you do things like bench press, where you're lying backwards, they'll fall off. They'll stay in your ear, but when you get up, they'll fall off. And that's probably the only real negative I've found to the thing being behind your neck. Is just in the gym, if you're lying down, just remember that. To turn them on, they've got a little button here, and you just hold that down and it will buzz once you've held it down for, I don't know, a couple of seconds. There we go. It just gives a very vibration buzz, which works fine, but the only problem with it is you don't know, there's nothing to say when it's on and when it's off. And that's one of the downsides to them, I'd say, is that I've left them on a couple of times just forgetting to, because it'd be handy if there was a little light saying on and off. When you turn them off again, you do the same thing, just hold that little button down until you get the vibration. So it works quite well, but just be aware that you can forget to turn them off. The little USB thing just sits in there. It's all pretty good, you know. As I say, I've used them pretty solidly for a month. No problems so far. Battery life is really good. They charge up really fast, and I've used them this week. I travelled, I was away. I used them for around 4 hours. Didn't charge them up. I forgot to take the charger with me. Used them for 4 hours, they were fine. I believe that they go for about 7 hours on a full charge, which is great. The other thing is that the connectivity to the phone is pretty good. So I'll show you how quickly it hooks up. So it's pretty intuitive. You know, the normal sort of thing. Seems to find it pretty fast. Having said that, might not find it now. I'll just put that while it's finding it. I'll just leave that there for a moment. The sound quality is really good. So the other headphones I use are these Bose QC20s. I use these mainly on planes, which obviously are a noise cancelling headset, but they're a very good quality. They're a really good sound, the QC20s. I think that these SBH80s, the bass isn't as good, but the upper end sounds, I'd say, are equivalent to the Bose. Mid-range, the Bose is maybe slightly better, but there's not much in it. So I think that they're actually quite comparable to the Bose, which we're talking in Australian terms. I think these were about $130. These were up around $350. So comparing something that's more than twice the price, almost 3 times the price, they're a pretty good headset. And now it's not connecting, so I'll just pause for a second. So it pairs up pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, the pairing is sort of, work that time, comparable with other devices, you know. And once it's paired, it's actually it finds it straight away. So as soon as you turn it on, there's never any glitching with the phone forgetting it or anything like that. So that all works really, really well. So basically, oh, it's got the normal sort of connection, the normal controls for volume up, volume down, skipping tracks, answering phone calls. It's got a whole load of complexity in the phone calls as well, where you can put people on hold and all that sort of stuff, which I haven't used. However, I have used it a lot as a phone hands-free, and it's excellent. The quality is really good. So in comparison to other, it's even, you know, I use these as a hands-free as well, but I actually think that the quality on this is better. Some of the Bose stuff, the pickup is perhaps not quite as good as it could be, but these are probably the best Bluetooth hands-free set I've had for making phone calls, and I've spent a lot of time on the phone using them, so they're great. Both sitting down in a quiet space, but also this week I was walking the streets of Sydney, and I made numerous calls, and Sydney's a pretty noisy place, and they worked great. So look, I'd definitely recommend these. I think they're really, really good. You can get them pretty cheaply on eBay these days. They're a bit discounted, but good quality, lasting well, good sound, good functionality. I'm not 100% sold on this thing behind the neck, but it's probably works better than you might think at first thought. So yeah, I'd buy these again.